Alright, so this is Rogue versus Reunited, and this is map 1, Dorado. I'm not going to pause as much on this one because I think that this one was pretty straightforward, like what went wrong. I'll pause as much as I need to, but this is map 1, this is winners finals, I think, or like upper bracket, not winners finals, like winner upper bracket in group B. So let's go.
3-1 win to Rogue, and they won Dorado. We actually have Tvicon May. I talked to his team. I had a chance.
This was the cast where they kept talking about May. Like they just keep talking about May. Watch. This is the May count. This is May count number 1. They're talking about May right now.
About this map, but we might actually see some Hanamura, some 2CP from them. They said they have strategies that they don't have planned for, which is why I gotta say I think Rogue is gonna take this. They're gonna bring something unexpected.
Is it winners finals? It was like bizarre the bracket to me. It was like Group B upper bracket finals or something. Okay, I got into an argument today actually with like MKL. But, like MKL is really dumb. So like, I think Envious did this thing on this map where like they decided to hold forward on this map. I don't think you should hold forward on this map, and like I'll explain why. So like, there's some maps where you can hold forward on, like Gibraltar. You can do it. You can get away with it on Numbani sometimes, and you can get away with it on like the second and third point of like any map. You can get away with it, like forward holds. The first point, or just like if you're ever in a position where their spawn literally leads to the team fight, you don't want to take a fight there. So what happens here, I think, is like Reunited like tries to like fight here, and it like blows up in their face. I didn't really talk about comps though, because they were talking about May. So Rogue has this aggressive comp, which is like some teams run this, right? What's it called? You have the Reaper and you have the Zarya, like they can push the cart together with the bubbles, and then you have like the Winston and the Genji, and they can like get in the back line together, like over the wall or just jump over and get in fast. So like that's their kind of game plan right here with this lineup. This lineup also translates very well to the second point where it's all about high ground. So like that's what they have going for them right now. Reunited's defense, defensive Genji is kind of bizarre, but I think Kib is just really, really good at Genji, so they don't switch him off of it often. So I think that that's kind of their. I think that that's like I don't really have like an explanation as to why they're running Genji. Like personally, I don't think it's that good. But if you have a really good Genji, like just keep him on Genji, right? And I think that that's the way that they're playing. So like Tvik gets up here and he's like, "Why are they spawn camping me?" I don't think it's good on this map. And the reason why I don't think it's good on this map, I'll try to wait until there's a camera angle. Like the logic is that you want to fight them here so that way if you lose you can fight them again in the fountain area. But when you do that, you give up the archway where the car has to go up the ramp, and I feel like that's the best place to hold on defense. Like it's the hardest choke to push through if you have the right heroes. But like look at how much cart time they're gonna get here. Like holding this part of the bridge is so much harder. Or it's so much easier to hold on defense, so much harder to push on offense. So like giving up this entire area is so much worse, I think. But look how much you gave up, so much ground here. Like this fight is even now, and not only is it even, it's like in Rogue's favor because they won the fight, so they have the ult advantage. Now they have the positional advantage because they got through this choke for free, so they can like fight in the fountain. It's just risky. I don't like it. I think it's bad. I think if you're gonna take that fight, you shouldn't even take that fight. I think you should fight in the choke and just accept that you're gonna lose this point, because by fighting in the forward spawn, you like open up the door for Rogue to like end the map or end this point in like 15 seconds. Like this card hasn't stopped rolling yet, and they have to like funnel in on Reunited, so like it's just a free point right now for Tvik and them, and it's all because of them forward holding. Like they really didn't need to forward hold.
Why is it that they can't establish themselves here? Do you think it was because they spawned too far back and Rogue were already set up?
I think the cart already made it to the fountain by the time they had come back.
Like, Stur's actually right here. Like, that's exactly what happened. They get the cart there for free, and you don't really want to give up the fountain for free because, like, getting up the hill through the archway is so difficult. So, like, why let them have it for free? I don't know. If they had won the initial fight, it might have been better. I agree. It's just like I don't think that the heroes are the correct heroes for that. Like, you want like a better aggressive defensive cast. Like, if you're gonna do that, run like an Ana, a Winston, some shit that like translates well to the second point and just try to slow them down. But like I would probably run like Symmetra or something. Just get the extra shields and spam some orbs or something. You don't have to do that. This is all theory craft. I just don't like the fact that they tried to forward hold with like a Reinhardt lineup. Because like Reinhardt's not really the most aggressive of heroes, and you're fighting into their spawn door. It's just like, I don't know.
For defense, hopefully they're going to be able to sit up on the high ground now. Everything should go back to the way we normally see things go in these games. We have AKM up top on the Reaper, looking to come around a flank. Winghaven holding up there just around this corner. Genji might do a little bit of distraction. Of course, he has the...
The casters or the cameramen do this all the time, where they just fucking tunnel vision on this person sitting on this ledge. This camera angle is so bad. Like, I can't even tell what AKM was looking at, but the second he gets headshot, like, he's just so mentally just like AFK thinking like about what's gonna happen next. So like he doesn't even acknowledge that he's taking damage. He could have just hit shift and lived there. But now they're down a Reaper, and I'm pretty sure Reunited is just gonna drop on them. But look at the ults right here. If he didn't die, they'd be in such a good position because they have Drop the Beat, they have Dragon Blade, and they have Monkey ult. Reunited really only has Dragon Blade and Black Hole almost. So like him dying there is going to lose them this push and probably give Reunited an opportunity to get back into the ult economy. Because now Reunited should be able to just take a fight into Rogue and get their ults back. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So Kib can actually Dragon Blade if he wants, because it doesn't matter. But look at that! Look at all the space that they're creating.
So this has forced Rogue back at least here, but if you're Rogue, you're still gritting to yourself, sir. You've made such...
I would have liked for them to have committed harder. Like, if they had dropped the Dragon Blade there, they could have baited out some ults from Rogue. But Rogue has a shit ton of ults right now, and if Rogue lose right now, it's only because they screw up. Like, that's it.
On here, and now it looks like Reunited is set up. They're gonna have to go for a fight, but it's a sound barrier used by Rogue quite early on. Reinforced drops though, right at the start of the fight. And Tavik, yes, gets a Dragon Blade kill towards Valley Taja, but now...
What just happened? Where did that black hole go? Oh, it didn't go off. No. I thought there was a black hole. Rogue doesn't use their spells aggressively enough here, and it loses them the fight. They should have just dropped the beat and kept their damage dealers alive. If Rogue uses any more ults, like they're already wasting them left and right. They just dropped both of their damage dealers and they popped both of their support ults. This is just really bad play from Rogue. Or uncoordinated play, I guess. Bad. That's a little harsh. But they're down both their damage dealers and they pop both of their support ults anyway. That can't happen. Like, that's just like, that just can't happen. Like, if Reinforce and Wins pop their ults here, like, that's actually just the worst.
It's been a very awkward fight. Everybody dropped off the high ground already. We have Mort moving back, taking care of it. Just cruise on cart now. They're going to get that kill for free. And Kib in the backfield, they seem very split.
How is Wins getting all this work done? It's actually bizarre to me that he just got that much work done.
Clearly, they have the cart they want to push, and they're doing it.
And now, like, because Wins got so much work done, they got the cart back. That was a big play, actually. They kind of jumped the gun there. Like, I don't think that they needed to pop that black hole there. There was no There was no follow-up. Like, Wins was kind of out on his own. He got like a little too eager. And the fact that he gets that eager just like loses them the fight because the high noon goes off inside the black hole behind a Reinhardt or behind a Winston bubble with a Zarya block or behind a Reinhardt shield. Like, Valuetaja got his ult off and like they needed to just wait until the Reinhardt shield was down or like try to fight. Or like at least wait until your teammates are in a position to capitalize on the black hole and not let Valuetaja get his ult off. That was a good response though from Valuetaja to get the ult off though. I think Cruz dropped a beat too, and they had no damage follow up. And Haven's just going hard in the paint here. That was really unfortunate. Did he get refunded? He got refunded. That was a really good play from Winghaven. Unfortunately, it gets punished by Blizzard's ult refunds, and because TV popped his Dragon Blade during the Earth Shatter, he gets the Dragon Blade back. But yeah, Rogue popping those ults so early was pretty game losing, or like that black hole like really messed them up. Because Wins actually carried them on the like through the bridge. Like half his team died and he just stayed alive and got kills. But Winghaven turned up, and so did Valuetaja. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the ult refunds, but the win condition now for like Rogue is to get a really good drop the beat into Dragon Blade. Because Reunited wasted a lot of ults to defend that second point before, but now it's like 3 minutes of this.
Their main DPS already taken care of. A pretty decent timing there for Winghaven in the end. If you think about it, he laid down the Earth Shatter. And I
remember thinking that Winghaven was like doing a load of work during these games.
It doesn't look like the ultimate animation actually occurred because he still has it refunded to him there. So he died earlier on. Still has that one coming back.
I've seen this one already. I watched this one like live-ish.
They've made some darn good progress so far, I think it's safe to say, Stir, but now they've still got to get past this last checkpoint. Thinking about some high ground control by the looks of it, but it didn't work out for them well in that last little fight. They're very split up again. Some of them are taking the high ground over there. Some
I don't get this. Rogue is like so split up right here.
to the card straight ahead. Now everybody is completely split up in this fight. I don't even know where to focus on.
Tavik goes in, dies alone.
A little bit of a Zen ultimate on the cart right
The
now.
Zen ult goes off, or Unco doesn't even use his.
Finding each person just wandering around Dorado torrent.
If they had just grouped up and the monkey went in with the Genji, they would have been fine. But Tavik goes down, and Tavik really shouldn't go down there because they had like 5 people alive on their team. But him going down there, like that loses them the fight, and that's just like Valuetaja is just playing really well. Like Reunited plays super well this entire match.
They had a great initial push there. They came around the left side. They wanted to take the high ground and use that to their advantage, push together, and it just fell apart immediately.
But this just goes to show like how using your ults like incorrectly or like too fast or too slow can like really fuck your entire team up. Because every time you waste an ult, you like reset the ult economy. But yeah, that I didn't like that push. Like they all went separate ways. Like they kind of like came out and like scattered like flies. And this push is a good idea. Some teams will do this. It's a little harder. Like you have to like get your entire team up the staircase. But it's a good idea. That shouldn't happen, but that was cool. I mean, TV came in from the back while the rest of his team pushed in from the front, and they get Valuetaja there. Then the black hole comes out from unfixed, and it slows them down a little bit, and then here comes AKM with the God McCree. Like, that's just such a huge play from AKM again. But look at this, dude. This is nuts. Unfixed and Cruz are in pretty good. I mean, they're gonna die, right? They're definitely gonna die. But look at how much they're stalling this cart. Like AKM is like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But like, they just delayed that cart for like half a second.
They went into the bank. They went all the way around the back up the stairs. Not a single person even noticed that they'd made their way down the street because their defense was a little bit split up as well, right? They had the Zarya over on the left side, up on the high ground, to make sure they didn't come that way.
AKM gets a little bit overzealous there. You need to push up that far. It doesn't make that big of a difference because the cart hasn't moved yet, and he's gonna spawn pretty quick. But
response from Reunited is okay.
You don't need to like do that alone. You shouldn't ever be trying to take 1v1s in Overwatch. Anytime that you lose a 1v1, like you can actually just screw your entire team up. You shouldn't really take fights that you're not confident that you're gonna win. I mean, if you think your aim is better, that's one thing, but it wasn't like that. It's a big Deadeye. But somehow it does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the ultimates aren't really.
Reunited had ults there. They had Black Hole, or no, they had Transcendence. They had Earthshatter. They had Dragon Blade. Rogue just used like 4 ults at the same time. I think they Earthshattered and got the Zenyatta, and that is going to win them the fight because the Zenyatta needed to be there to counter the Dragon Blade. But now they have nothing that can kill the Dragon Blade, so Tuvik and them should be able to just push here. But they just got like 4 ults and just used them all at the same time. And because they got the Zenyatta at the beginning, it makes like holding as Reunited so much harder.
Cleans up everybody, and that might even be it right here. They might have
I think that this should be.
Out, I think their spawns are staggered. Zenyatta's walking out of the gate first. They're going to be able to get this.
Zenyatta just needs to hit Transcendence and run out. Yep.
But he has his ultimate. Able to get on the cart. That huge stall is exactly what they needed.
That was so close to missing, actually. Winghaven hits the Earthshatter there, and it almost would have clipped Wins' bubble. But he got it like inside the bubble, so he gets Wins here. I think this is just a really good play from Reunited. Morte's Transcendence, like the fact that he didn't pop it, like kind of was, you know, I mean, it wasn't good, but it saves them here. So, like they make a lot out of it. Winghaven again just clutched. He hits this monkey with the ult, and he's gonna get a charge off, I think. They got so much out of that, actually. That's crazy. That like one Zenyatta ult just like reset the entire thing. And, like it couldn't have been any closer. She was at like 1 meter.
Absolutely, and again, it looks like the defense is going to have a bit of advantage as we're looking as unfixed. The Zarya has an ultimate again. Decides so many fights with that Zarya ult. If you can get a couple people in it, they should be able to hold off for another fight. We're actually.
Teams do this push too. This is a pretty common push where your entire team will just like decide that okay, we can't come from underneath because this is pretty hard to push. It's like they have all this high ground. Like teams will be like, all right, let's just come in from the back. Problem with doing this is that the choke is so much narrower. Like you have to all come through this little area right here, and you have to commit super hard and just like YOLO through, because if you don't get through, if you don't get past this area right here, like they can just hold this platform forever. I don't know how this push is gonna wind up, but yeah, they're deciding instead of taking the lower route, they're gonna take the higher route.
Looking at only about a minute left.
It's hard to execute this, especially because Unfixed has Black Hole. I was wrong, they actually went lower. That's cool. I haven't actually seen teams do that before, but that's just the transition. But Unfixed Black Hole here is ginormous. Like, they have no answer to it. They have the shield. You can get him behind and shit. It's just an easy team fight. Super easy team fight, man. Black Hole without Transcendence behind it, when your teammates can like get in on the Black Hole, is like just a one team fight.
I think our audience is preferring it that way.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted some Genji. I think they both wanted Genji. We're actually seeing a Dragon Blade up between.
They're doing really well on Reunited though, like delaying this cart.
They might be able to get this last push in here. A minute left, but the ultimates have even out a bit. They wasted that Zarya ult, and they're not going to have it for this fight.
They wasted that Zarya ult. They wasted that Zarya ult. That Zarya ult just got them 25. That Zarya ult just got them a team wipe. They wasted that.
If they're coming in on the low ground, that's a little bit of a hard situation to fight in. They have the
Winghaven's gonna be really patient here, I think. Like he needs to be. As soon as that shield goes down from Reinforce, he's just gonna come in with a fat Earth Shatter. That's all he has to do. He just needs to sit up here. Him going down there right now is a death wish. He has nothing to gain by falling down. The only ult they have is his. He needs to come up big, and I think he knows it. He's AK, he's gonna YOLO in. Reinforce doesn't charge him? Why? Okay, I'm really confused. Why didn't Reinforce just charge him? Did he not have his charge? Maybe he didn't have his charge. They got that kill there on Winghaven. They win the fight, but then Winghaven just clutches. Look at this guy, dude. He's a god. He missed the charge? Oh. That's bad. Bad news. That Earthshare just won them the fight. Like Winghaven, he came in, he showed up, he turned up. 10 seconds here. It can just pop Dragon Blade with Transcendence. There it is. Forces out Transcendence all the way back there. What's happening? It's a really weird fight, actually. Like Valutaya, Tracer, Winghaven's dead. They pop the Dragon Blade to force out the Zenyatta ult. The Zenyatta ult gets forced out, but then they kill Hib. But then Tavik like dive bombs in by himself and then doesn't get anything except a fight with Unko. Unko dies eventually, but they delayed enough to where I think Rogue should not be able to just cap here. Unfixed actually just did a lot of work. Like he got him behind them. They had to worry about him. And then Valutaya shoots from the front while like there's a monkey behind you. And suddenly you're just really overwhelming Rogue. Monkey Tracer Genji is like probably one of the scariest comps you can run, and I like it here. I like Tracer on this point specifically because there's so much room and there's so many health packs. Tracer's just super good on this point, I think. But dealing with Monkey Tracer Genji is very difficult. So like if they just all converge on AKM, which they just did, he can't really do anything. Like McCree will kill Tracer, but Winston and Tracer will kill McCree. Kib is just so good, man. Kib unfixed in Winghaven. Like Winghaven won them a lot of fights. I don't know if he gets enough credit in this clip or whatever, but he just went nuts actually. Alright, I'm gonna get water. My throat is burning.
You can see already on the screen that these guys aren't exactly that happy. There's Unko there on your screen, not looking overly pleased here. You said that even that Tvik sort of had the Dragon Blade to come back into that last fight. The same was present there on the side of Reunited, but it looks like Reunited just managed to hang on that little bit longer. AKM got so badly zoned out by Unfixed in the end there. The Winston on McCree action, not pretty.
Yeah, that last push was just, they had to rush it. They had to jump in, and forcing the fight in that way, there's definitely no way they were going to get a favorable trade. They actually did much better than I could have expected, but they're really not looking good. Not finishing the map, of course. This is based on time. Most teams are expected to finish. Doesn't always happen. Of course, we've seen a couple of first point holds today, and we're going to see a really good first point hold to make up that time.
Yeah, and maybe that's exactly what Rogue are thinking of here. I mean, look at their team comp, though. Nothing really kind of crazy about it. Hey, no.
Did I miss anything? Nope. Prepare to attack.
I'm looking at you, Team Envious. So Reunited be happy with that. All you got to do is finish the map. Pretty darn comfortable. I mean, like you said, when Rogue came back in, it was only 10 seconds left in that last fight. So you're right, pretty hard to make it work.
Yeah, it looks like they're not taking any risks, like you said. Most Metros.
Okay. Rogue on defense now. They just got held. Yeah, they got held. So Reunited on offense, running normal shit. They're running the opposite of what the other team ran before. Reunited has the Genji this time. They're running the Genji Winston on attack, which is the dive, like the diving comp. Like the two heroes pretty much just try to kill McCree at the same time, and like that's how you win fights. Or Zenyatta. The two of them diving as Zenyatta or diving a McCree is pretty much a dead either one. Winston or Zarya Reaper is probably one of the best combos. Like I think the Reaper is probably the best combo for Zarya in general. So that's like their plan is to like have this really tanky or beefy backline with like Zarya Reaper and then like a really aggressive front line with Genji Winston. Rogue's running pretty straightforward things. The same cookie cutter lineup that C9 was running in the McCree Reaper, Zarya. I mean that's standard. But I think that they'll run it differently.
With what they feel confident with.
Like I don't expect the forward hold. I think the forward hold was awful. I don't expect Rogue to do it here.
More defense hasn't been held more than 2 pushes.
That is true. We've seen some really weird situations. Some teams get through first.
Yeah, I know that timer doesn't need to be on the screen right now.
I like to see Internet Hulk playing that diva actually on the attacking side for Envious on this map. I don't think we're going to see the same for Reunited here as well. As they are out of the gates here. It's into the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Reunited.
This hoodie, this is the TI hoodie. I bought this at TI 5 last year.
With the Genji and Reaper combo.
Absolutely, we can see the standard setup defense underneath this arch. We have Ryan Force there, just waiting for them to get here. Kib already doing some poking, almost goes down to 30 health, waiting for the rest of his team. And I don't really know if I agree with these team compositions. It's very...
I don't know if I agree with these team compositions. What in God's name would you run differently? Like, on offense, maybe you could run McCree, but you don't need to. Like, this is the most standard defensive comp, I think, in the game.
I would like to see a Roadhog to break the Reinhardt shields. That gives you so much of an advantage here, but not too many teams have been opting for the...
I will say, to that point, though, he's actually kind of right. Roadhog is very strong on this map. On either side. I think Roadhog might be one of the best heroes on Dorado because you can stop the cart in the choke. Like, Roadhog is, yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's just Roadhog gets shredded by Reaper Zarya and both teams are running Reaper Zarya. So, like, the team with the Roadhog, unless they're both running Roadhog, is probably going to have a hard time. But, I mean, Roadhog is definitely good.
And I guess that's not a good argument in favor of him right now.
No, not totally, no. I don't think so. I think, like, yeah, we see the McCree here.
Yeah, Roadhog's risk-reward. It's like all risk-reward. I think Winghaven, like, that was really good. He jumps in, forces some aggression.
Taking a couple confident steps forward here. Winghaven goes low. That flash looked like it was had some EMP behind it.
This was really bad. I think Reunited got a little soft there. You can't trickle in. Like they lost, I think they lost Rib or Kib and Winghaven. Well, they just lost Winghaven, but they need to just get a kill. It doesn't need to be on anyone in specific. Just get a kill. Like, if you can go in and get a kill or two, you can win the fight or just win the point because you can respawn as a team and just push when they're down that player that you killed last. But they're like kind of trickling back and they're not sure if they should commit, but you should definitely commit here and just try to get like a pick on like anyone. Like a pick on Wins is a free game, like a pick on AKM is a free push next, or like Unco especially. But they're not they're like playing kind of passively and it's not good because now they're just gonna like now Morte's committing, but like they should have all been where Morte is, I think, right there. But this is like worst case scenario for Reunited because nobody on Rogue died, so now they have massive ult advantage, all the damage they just did. And this is where like Reunited like really gets put in a pinch. The first push on any map is generally the biggest push in terms of like setting the pace of the game. But yeah, that was definitely an awkward fight, and like it's hard to fight around that cart. You have to like get in and get behind it.
Damaging each other, and then we started seeing some people fall.
Unco has to die. If I were like in Reunited's position, I think the play is to like drop the beat into Dragon Blade and just only use those two ults and try to force out the Genji or try to force out the Zenyatta ult. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. I actually don't remember what happens. I mean, I know what happened, or I know who wins, but I don't remember like how each team fight goes down. But if you can force out Unco's ult, you can win the next push. Like, you have to realize that Reunited should be in the mindset that, like, winning this next fight is actually very, very, very hard. Because of how many ults Rogue has. And they should know that Rogue has ults, because if they have ults, Rogue definitely has ults. Because Rogue won the fight, therefore they did. So, the play here, if you're Reunited, is probably just drop the beat into Dragon Blade and try to kill Unco. And Unco will pop his ult, and then like lose that fight because Unco popped his ult, and then take the next fight in like 30 seconds or whatever with the Death Blossom into Black Hole and the Transcendence over the top, because there's no counterplay for that except for Unco. But if they use the Black Hole before Unco pops Transcendence, or yeah, if they use the Black Hole before Unco pops Transcendence, then like the Transcendence is just going to nullify all the damage from the Black Hole, and they're going to be in a really bad position.
So both teams are searching for those priority targets.
So there's the drop the beat.
Here is going to be a big one. Almost both teams have all of their ult.
There's the counter drop the beat. But there's the Black Hole. That kind of questionable. Because Unco has ult. And then now Kib pops Dragon Blade to try to kill them. But Unco has ult.
But the Zenyatta Transcendence saves them. Tries to reflect it back at the McCree, but just barely misses it. I don't think it was a full charge. Dashing around.
I would expect Reunited to lose here.
Actually died in this fight because of the support ults. Nox taking down Reaper. Trey's going both sides. What do you see here?
Well, Kib having to back away. That's all I see now. He went very, very low there. They're already missing Mort and Valitaja now. On Fix falls down as well. Spoppy, another unsuccessful push for Reunited.
No, they have nothing. Valitaja even used his Death Blossom. So I think what I said was right. I think what they did was wrong. I think you just want to go in. You forced out drop the beat. Like, be happy, you know? Don't black hole a team that dropped the beat when they still have Transcendence. Like, you have to make that Transcendence comes out. Like, that Transcendence needs to come out before you pop your black hole. Like, you can win a game with a black hole. Black hole can win you the game, but black hole doesn't win you the game when they have Transcendence. Now the fight resets, and that's really bad for Rogue, or that's really bad for Reunited, because now the ults are even, and Rogue has positional advantage. Yeah, they went way too YOLO, and they didn't really think about what the consequences would be of what they were doing. I think one thing that you need to think about when you're playing this game is that, like, dying isn't bad. Like, dying is not the end of the world. Like, losing a team fight, getting team killed, or like team wiped, whatever they call it, is like beneficial sometimes. Sometimes you want to take fights that you know you're gonna lose just to like try to regain some of your ult economy back. If they had been able to just drop the beat in Dragon Blade and then just dive bomb the shit out of Unco with the Dragon Blade, they could have lost that fight, forced out, drop the beat and Transcendence, and then come back in with like, what's it called? Come back in with the black hole into Death Blossom.
When you really start to need to sweat as a player.
You have to like think, yeah, you have to like think long term and not just short term when you're playing. Like, what's this monkey gonna do right now? Monkey's gonna do nothing, man. He's just a monkey, man. A monkey with no team. Playing this really well though. He's making this monkey do a lot more than I thought he was going to, actually. Gets in, gets out, gets in, gets out, gets in, gets out. Rogue is getting ults now. Vik's popping Morte? Unco. Unco and Tvik are popping ults now to like secure this fight. And that's really good because they were in a kind of weird position because they never got that monkey kill. Happening. Hello? That took way too long.
Unfortunately, should have just backed up and been with their team. Just like we saw last game, actually.
That's not that bad though, because they killed unfixed. I guess it is still pretty bad. No, they killed Unco rather. So this is pretty good for Reunited because that fight like dragged out so long. It like forced Rogue to pop ults, but their Zenyatta had to pop ult, and now they have the advantage because there's no Zenyatta ult. Like, I hate to say this, but like defense really comes down to the Zenyatta ult. Like if you have the Zenyatta ult and they don't, or they like if you have Zenyatta ults, you're gonna have a good time. Like it's not easy to, and you have to expend ults to force out the Zenyatta ult. Like here, Unco's dead. He's the Zenyatta. That in itself should probably be enough for Reunited to take the next push. Because now they can black hole, and they could have had this exact same fight if they had just baited it out before. Like now we're back to what we were talking about like literally 5 minutes ago, where Reunited has black hole and Death Blossom, and there's no Transcendence. Like this is what they wanted 3 minutes ago when they could have done it with the Genji. Ooh, Fat Earth Shatter. However, Morte hit Q. So even though that was a Fat Earth Shatter, Morte was in there with the heals. They don't have enough damage because one of the weaker support ults in the game just saved their entire team. And Unco isn't here to respond. So the black hole into Death Blossom should still do work. We shall see. They didn't even need the black hole. Valitaja just said, fuck it, we're going in. We'll do it live. And there it is. All you have to do is kill the Zenyatta, guys. Zenyatta dead, GG, boys. Like, that's all it took. They just need to kill that Zenyatta. It took them long enough, but they could have done that before, earlier.
That's a lot of stress relief. And again, it's not the time that matters. To an extent, it still matters, of course, but finishing the map is still within arm's reach.
They wasted so much time just to not force that ult, or to not force that fight earlier. Like they could have had that exact same fight earlier if they were just Dragon Bladed and gone straight for the Zenyatta. You need to kill Zenyatta.
Trying to push those Reinhardts off the top, but it looks like their high ground was secured until oh my lord, they all dropped off.
What is happening? Why did they just drop the? Why did they just black hole? I'm okay with Unfixed dropping his black hole, but why did Winds pop his black hole?
This fight split up for no reason. Once again, Kib is able to just take advantage of this carnage that should never have even been in the first place. Gets stunned, finally taken down by AKM.
I didn't like that play. That was questionable.
Couple of important pickups for Kib there as well, but it looks as if we're going to be able to see Rogue just solidify on this one a bit more. More now trying to fire some orbs away, and Twitch just going to back away with that one as well. Throwing up the blade, going to deflect those shots away.
It's a bizarre fight, though. I don't know why they dropped the black hole there. Like, they didn't even get the Reinhardt. Kib, or what was it? Yeah, Kib wasn't ready. They won the fight because it went so long, like it dragged out, and they killed Tuvik, I guess. But I didn't like that black hole. Unco still doesn't have ult though. Like this will be Morte's second ult, that Kib and Unco's first since that last fight.
A couple people on high ground, but it's not really mattering right now.
Ooh, that's a Fat Earth Shatter again. The pin. Teams are just hitting Q all over the place. Like, this is just a bunch of Q. This is just Q, 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 Q. Tuvik going untouched. And playing Genji when you have like a Zenyatta and a Lucio on your team is like the best shit. They needed that black hole. They needed like a few more spells, I guess. I don't know. Like, I think Tuvik just got way too much work there. I think Valutaya went down early, popped High Noon and died, but if Tuvik doesn't get put in check. I mean, they popped Transcendence with Dragon Blade, so like he was always going to do well. It's just surprising they did that well, I guess. But they didn't have the camera on him, so I couldn't really see the Dragon Blade kills or whatever happened with the Transcendence. Not really switching the camera enough right here. A good zoning ult from AKM.
Just to make sure that no team goes into this fight too low on health. But now still, despite the sound barriers coming out here, Stir, it's a very slow start to the fight.
AKM going down first.
The bop from the Lucio. Crew's just like fucked up that entire push.
Tuvik was able to find during that fight. Here he comes, popping his ult. Maybe one more. Oh, from behind him, gets sniped in the back of the head by Mort, and they may actually be getting this right here with again 10 seconds left. People have to get on this car right now.
This I think was probably one of the best plays, like individual plays. It's Winghaven, Valutaya, and is that Morte? You just pin at 9:13. Nox hits this, right?
AKM going down first again. Really bad to see that Kib is able to get this Dragon Blade off.
Morte gets this kill right here.
Then Tavik was able to find
Onto
here he comes
Tavik.
popping his ult.
Now it's literally just Reinforce, Unco, Nox, and AKM. I don't think AKM's here. I think AKM against Cruz, Winghaven, and Morte, and Valutaja. I think Valutaja's a new spawn too. So like, look at this position. Oh, right here. This is the thing right here. Cruz, Winghaven, Morte. Pushing the cart against Nox and Reinforce. I think Nox and Reinforce are the only ones here. Zenyatta, Lucio, Reinforce. I lied. Valutaja is right here. And then this. McCree goes in. Kills Unco. Zenyatta. Really good for Reunited right now. But Nox is still delaying the cart. And then Reinforce is like YOLO. He just gets this kill on Morte, who's almost about to have Transcendence. Like he's literally like 2% away from Transcendence. And Valutaja doesn't have Flashbang because he just used it to kill the Zenyatta. So this charge stops the cart and gets the kill on Morte at 99%. 99. Then AKM spawns and gets this kill on Valutaja. But if he hadn't gotten that pin, Morte just hits Q. And then they win this fight more than likely. So like, Reinforce just comes in, you know, it's just like, just clutches. That's it. But they took way too long to push the first point. They didn't need to drop 4 ults on offense to like bait out 3 ults on defense. Like they could have dropped 2 to bait out like 5, but they didn't. So game is hard.